Welcome to the Tipsy Guest Podcast. I am your host, Marco Buenrostro, and every week I'm here with the top industry experts, amazing clients, and all my vendor BFFs to bring you the best tips, advice, and juicy behind-the-scenes stories to make wedding and event planning a breeze. So grab your favorite drink and let's get this party started! Hey guys, welcome back to the Tipsy Guest. I am Marco, your host, and today it's all about wedding rentals. And for that, I have the perfect vendor for it, Laurie with Cru Event Rentals. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
I am doing fantastic now that you're here.
Thank you.
I've been trying to get you here for the longest time. But we're always busy, so I know how it is. And
yes.
You are everywhere. I see. So anytime I'm driving around town and I see your trucks, I'm like, oh my God, there's Laurie.
Can't miss my big blue box truck.
Yeah, I see it all around town. But yes, you went from, I remember so many, how long have you been in business?
This is our 12th year.
Okay, yes, I remember when I started my company, 10 years ago, it was all vintage rentals. But now, slowly you've transitioned into just event rentals in general. You have to keep up with times, and I see you growing and growing and growing.
Yes, I think that's been a key to our success is you have to change with the trends. And I do see vintage china making a comeback this year, but I think for a while there, the vintage pieces were kind of on the back burner, maybe not going out as much. We've held on to our Victorian sofas. Those are always going to be popular because I think they're timeless, but we've slowly transitioned into more modern furniture, and you'll start seeing more of that in the future.
I love that. And then, okay, so our listeners want to know what you offer. So I know, of course, you do is just rentals in general, but give us an idea of what are your most popular items, and then also tell us about the non so popular items, because some people might not know that you offer that. Like what exactly do you have?
Yes, so we offer a lot of backdrops that they're unique. Nobody else has them, such as our stained glass windows. They're 11 and 12 feet tall. We've been asked to take them as far as New York and California and an aspen trees in the middle of Aspen, Colorado to do ceremonies.
What?
Yes, we have not taken them there because I'm afraid they may not make it that far. They're very fragile, and we just had them all restored. So we want them to last. We have the doors that brides walk through. They're not easy to deal with, so a lot of people don't offer them. They're hard to come by. We offer a lot of furniture, lounge packages. We now offer linens. You may not have known that. We do dishes, china, glassware. Before we were just doing vintage china, colored goblets. Now we have just your basic white plates. And we have clear goblets. We have silverware, gold flatware, black flat. Lots of different options.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah.
And I'm assuming you have, can couples come to your warehouse and look at the stuff? Do you have like a showroom? How does that work? Because you can see photos online, but seeing it in person, it's a whole different thing. Walk me through the process of somebody booking any of your rentals.
Yes. So we try to get everybody to come to the showroom because it just doesn't do it justice. The pictures don't. And plus, brides are visual people, right? They like to see it, touch it, feel it. Make sure you're real. You're a real business person.
Yeah.
You're a real business. So anyway, yeah, they can schedule an appointment and we'll come in. I try to allow an hour. Hopefully we don't go over. It can be overwhelming because they don't realize you have so much.
Yeah. And where is your warehouse?
It's in Boerne. It's off of I-10 close to Johns Road.
Okay. I remember going to your warehouse because I know you went from one warehouse when you had less stuff to a bigger one.
Yes.
And I remember we ended up setting a photo booth for your your very first open house, right? What,
yes.
The new warehouse?
Yeah.
It was, I love furniture. Just in general, I am all about furniture. So when I went to your warehouse, I was in heaven.
Yes.
There's just so much to look at. Like you said, people, they like to touch, they like to see it in person because it might photograph differently than actually seeing it in person.
That's right.
Do you have a minimum of I guess of what people can rent from you, or can it be something small? Does it have to be like a minimum amount of pieces? How does that work?
So we don't have a minimum for rentals, but we do have a minimum for delivery. We will not deliver for less than $500 unless it's a very slow time for us. Delivery is extra, though. I get that. Does that include delivery? No, it does not. Delivery is how we pay our guys.
Yeah.
So.
And it's something, it's good that you mentioned that, because a lot of the time people don't realize, I guess, like they don't realize all the stuff that goes behind it. I mean, you have to obviously, these are big pieces of furniture. So you have to have at least, 2 people for delivery?
Right.
And then also depending on the location. So when it comes to the pricing, are your prices listed on your website, or every package is like a custom quote for each client? How can people find out about your prices?
So they're not listed on our website. We put together custom packages. I have a proposal list that will come with pricing and pictures, and that's how they know.
Okay. And then I know, of course, your warehouse is out in Bernie, but you cover everywhere, I guess New Braunfels, San Antonio, Fredericksburg, Comfort. Where else have you gone?
Yes. So we're starting to go to the Frio River, which is the Lakey, Concan area. Ooh. More and more. Yeah. We're all over the hill country, downtown San Antonio. We've been as far south as South Padre.
I did an event in South Padre. I'm originally from Bronzeville, so South Padre is right there. But I like going out there.
Yeah, I can see why.
You can make it a weekend getaway.
Exactly
hey, hire us down there. We'll go for a weekend.
Yeah, we might enjoy the beach for a little bit during the wedding and come back and pick it up at the end.
Yep. But hey, okay, so this is also, just a pro tip here for our listeners out there. Just, because again, planning a wedding is so stressful sometimes, and there are certain things that our couples might not know. And I guess in this situation, like delivering big pieces of furniture, like the stuff that you have, can be hard sometimes depending on the location of the wedding, because of like you said earlier, your glass doors, they're big, or your pieces of furniture. Also, for our listeners out there, you need to make sure that you talk to your venue and make sure that there is access for other vendors to go through either their elevators, their stairs, or just to give us access to make sure that it is going to fit. Because, like you said, your doors are very delicate. You need to make sure that they, when they go up to the rooftop of a venue, or if there's no elevator and things like that. So I guess, our listeners out there, always check with your venue before you get certain items, just to make sure that it is going to work out for everybody, right?
That's right.
Have you ever had anything crazy like that where it didn't work out?
Yes.
Ooh, talk to me about it.
We've had pieces, and thankfully we knew to go do a walkthrough because, yes, we've been to most of the venues here, right? We've been doing this for 12 years. If it's a venue that I know our stained glass windows have never been to, how are we going to get that up to the rooftop? We better go walk it.
Yeah.
Logistics is kind of my thing. I like to know ahead of time exactly, any obstacles we might be up against.
A lot of the time, venues downtown here in San Antonio are really limited with, where you can park to unload. Also, like some of them don't even have elevators. I mean, most of them do, of course.
Right.
But there are a few older buildings that don't have an actual elevator. So imagine going up the stairs with big pieces of furniture, or the glass doors, or just anything really. It's a little hard. So I guess when it comes to a venue like that, is the delivery fee is that gonna be more because of how crazy it is to get into the venue?
Yes, it will be. And you've got to think about the time it's going to take, and then the extra care that we need to take in getting our pieces there safely. So yeah, all of that's taken into consideration.
All right. When, all of this is, we're talking about beautiful furniture, beautiful, couches, chairs, and things like this. What happens if something gets damaged at an event? I mean, there's people drinking, there's, people eating, and you are not obviously there to be, you're not going to be the sofa police and just stand next to your rentals.
Right.
Like, what happens? Is there like a retainer? Is there like a security deposit? How does that work?
So we learned in the past that guests are limited on money up front, right? I mean, they're spending so much on a wedding. So we just keep a credit card on file instead of taking a hefty deposit up front. If it does break, we do ask you pay to have it repaired. We just had to have a sofa repaired that bottomed out. In the instance of rain, we would ask that you would do us a courtesy and maybe pull it under cover.
Yeah.
And it'll dry out. Something like that will dry out. But if a piece breaks, we do have our guests pay for it.
Okay. Have you ever gone through something like it?
We have. And we've had guests argue with us, not want to pay for it, unfortunately. But, I guess that just kind of goes with the territory. But we work with some really great brides. So we haven't encountered that too many times.
That's good. I feel like sometimes, the process of a wedding, the whole, I don't know, a year or a few months of planning a wedding, there's always that constant communication with the couple and their vendors. We see it all the time. But then I also feel like as soon as the wedding is over, like that changes completely. Especially like in a situation like this where you need to follow up and be like, hey, some of the pieces were damaged. I feel like at that point, like you stop hearing from them. You just get ghosted, and it's like that feeling is like, oh man, but we had such a great communication throughout the process. But of course we did, because it's leading up to the wedding. So to our listeners out there, please don't be that couple.
Right.
We reuse our stuff for you use it once because your wedding is one day, but we do reuse our stuff. For example, with me, I mean, my photo booths, they go out to weddings every weekend, a few times a week. With your rentals, of course, they're everywhere. So these are things that cost a lot of money. So of course, try to be respectful, and of course, they can't obviously control their guest. There's drinking involved, so they can't really control their guest. But, we're not asking you guys to be, looking after everybody at your wedding, because of course you're having fun, you're not going to care. But just be mindful of that. We do use our stuff every day, we rent it out to a lot of different people. So please take care of our stuff.
Yeah, and life happens. Normal wear and tear is expensive.
Yeah,
I mean, it's expected. We do Scotch guard our furniture if it spills. I don't think I've ever charged anyone to clean a couch or a rug. But if it breaks and I have to pay hundreds of dollars to get it repaired, then I think that's fair.
Yeah, we had a situation one time where we were set up outside at a venue out in I think it was out in Dipping Springs. So we were supposed to set up the photo booth inside, but I guess there's always something, and we ended up outside on the porch. So we were not expecting to be outside. And it was chilly. So my assistant, she calls me and she's like, hey, Marco, they moved us outside and I wasn't prepared. I didn't bring a jacket. So she's like, I'm going to run to Walmart. I'm just going to go get a light jacket and then I'll make my way back. This was earlier in the day when we were doing our setup. Guests were not there yet. The wedding was not even starting or anything. But, we always do our setups early in the day. So she went to Walmart to buy a jacket. She came back and the photo booth was knocked down by the wind. So she came back to find the photo booth on the floor. Yep. And while she was out at Walmart, I get a text message from the DJ. Shout out to Gumby out there. He texted me and he's like, hey, Marco, just an FYI, your photo booth just got knocked over by the wind. And I was like, oh man, Gigi's not even there right now to go. So when she came back to the venue, yeah, she texted me and she's like, Marco, one of the pieces broke or blah blah blah. So yeah, like things happen, and I mean, I of course I wasn't gonna deal with it there and then, because I'm not gonna ruin somebody's day, because of something that happened. But I did ended up reaching out to the planner after the wedding. I let a few days go by and then I reached out and I was like, hey, because of the last minute changes that you guys made, this happened, blah blah blah. And it turned out okay. You know, they understood and you know, they were able to cover the repair like you mentioned. So yeah, things happen. But I mean, your furniture is so pretty. I would just be so sad to see a piece of vintage furniture break.
I used to be very emotionally attached.
Yeah.
I had to detach myself from my piece and just realize it's going to last as long as it's going to last. It's not made to do what we do with it, right?
Yeah.
I think our biggest expense comes from broken glassware, missing glasses. Guests think they're pretty. They take one home.
Oh, my God.
So that happens all the time. But you know what? We kind of expect, we don't like it, but we're not surprised when it happens.
Yeah. Is there a piece that you have that you've had for a very long time that you refuse to let go? And it's already at the point where you're like, it needs to be retired, but you don't want to retire it.
Yes.
What is it?
Well, probably our green Victorian sofa.
Okay.
It's been cleaned a few times, but it photographs well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love my Victorian pieces. I have a few, you know, with the curved backs.
Oh, I love those.
I just had one repaired. So I'll probably hang on to those as long as I can get those to last. Like I said, they're timeless.
Yeah.
And we are adding more modern furniture. But for those, I'll always get those brides that want to use those at their wedding because they're just so pretty.
Yeah. Other than furniture, do you do like bar facades or like dance floors or what other big statement pieces do you have that you offer?
We just started adding bars. I have 5 bars now. We did add dance floors last year too, and that's been a big hit. We can do an all white dance floor, an all brown, all black, or we do black and white checkerboard, or our popular one is our Texas style brown and white checkerboard now.
Look at
so
you.
Fun. Yeah.
I love that. It's so nice when a couple is looking for rentals, and if they can find a lot of the stuff with the same vendor, I think it makes it so easy for them instead of dealing with a bunch of different people. Like they can just come to your shop and just try to get everything, you know, like out of the way in like one meeting.
Right. And they'll save on delivery fees. The less vendors you use, it saves them money. So we try to be a one-stop shop for the most part. I know we don't have everything, but we're working on it.
I love that. And do you ever partner up with other vendors? Because I know like we've talked about it a few times where I want to partner. Sometimes my couples, they want more than just a backdrop. You know, they want to incorporate like a nice sofa or like chandeliers and things like that. And I know you and I have been talking about it for a while where we want to work on maybe building some packages where, you know, we can use your furniture for the setup of the photo booth and stuff like that. Have you ever partnered up with any other vendors to create, you know, custom packages like that?
Yeah, you know, we haven't really. I don't think we have packages created with other vendors, but we would definitely do that.
Be open to it.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right, then we need to talk, girl. We need to talk.
We do.
we need to make it happen.
I think we've talked about this for a while now.
It's been a while, but I mean, again, we go back to being so busy all the time.
I know.
Because this and let's throw it out there into the universe and now to our listeners so that we can actually make it happen.
Okay.
So I think, you know, I've done events where like I said, you know, people like the couples, they want like a custom setup for their photo booth. So I think what we're gonna end up doing, it's gonna be maybe like I'll probably come out to your shop. We'll set up a few different sets. We'll do a style shoot, like a really cool shoot. That because again, going back to couples they want to see it. You know, everybody wants to see what it's going to look like. So I think what you and I can do is probably do a few different, let's say 3 different setups. You know, we can do a vintage one. We can do a modern one. We can do like a black and white, which is a very popular, you know, color scheme for weddings. Mm-hmm. And then we can just offer it as a package and be like, you know, this is our vintage photo booth package that includes this pieces of furniture, like cool rugs and like cool things like that. Or this is our modern one. If you're getting, married at a really modern venue, then we have our modern setup, or we have our Western, you know, like rustic chic setup and things like that. So I think we're going to end up doing that. So to our listeners out there, be on the lookout for our style shoot so that then later you can just be like, you know what, Marco? I want that whole package right there.
Yeah,
I want your mid-century modern photo booth with Laurie's vintage chic
mid-century
Western
couch.
mid-century setup. And I mean, I just think your wedding should be about you, of course, first of all. But then I feel like your guests are going to be the ones enjoying everything that you get at the wedding. So giving them a really good photo moment at their wedding, I think it's always, like I always say that. I'm like, yes, you do have your photographer for you as the couple. But the photo, like either our roaming photo booth or like even our stationary photo booths, those are the photos that your guests are going to be using for a very long time.
Yeah.
So I think
those are the memories they're going to be left with.
Yeah. So again, going back to you and me, Laurie, we're going to talk. We're going to set up some cool, photo booth setups with your furniture and your rentals, and then we'll just offer them as packages.
Yes.
There you have it.
We need to get a date on the calendar.
I know, girl. I think we're going to have to wait for summer because that's when we slow down a little bit. I mean, right now it's so busy, but busy is always good.
The good thing about my warehouse is it has AC.
Oh, yes.
So whereas my last one did not. So we won't be hot if we do it during the summer or if you come to visit during the summer.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. And then talk to me about I know you said that you don't require an actual deposit for whenever if something happens to the furniture, but when somebody books you, how does that work? Do they give you a deposit to secure the items? Are there do you have a payment plan? When does everything have to be paid in full? Like how does that work?
Yes. So we do require a deposit, 50% down upon booking, and that reserves your items. We do allow minor tweaks as it goes on because everybody knows your numbers aren't firm. And then the final payment's due a month in advance.
A month in advance. Okay.
And if you need a few weeks because your numbers are trickling in,
okay,
that's fine. And I tell my brides too, I said, get on the phone. It's okay to get on the phone and call them. These days, people are so laid back and lazy about responding to, RSVPs, but you need to know. So we need to know, right? All your vendors, your caterer, your cake person, maybe your cake size might change. But, for us, if we're renting plates and glassware and flatware, that's money you could save.
Yeah. It's so crazy how people don't RSVP. I feel like people are getting lazier and lazier with RSVPing for weddings. So what they don't know, if you're listening out there and you're not actually planning your wedding, you're just a guest at a wedding, please RSVP when they send you. Yeah, yes. When they send you the RSVP, the save the date or I don't know what it's called, for you to RSVP, make sure you do, because this is people's money you're messing with. They need to know a head count. Like Laurie said, right now, they need to know how much food they need, how many chairs they're going to need, how many tables they're going to need. And with chairs and table comes the linens, the centerpieces, it's a domino effect.
You don't realize how much goes into that head count.
Yeah. Please RSVP and stick to their deadlines. Don't wait until the weekend before the wedding to RSVP. Because, the couple, they need to send those numbers to their vendors because, everything is very well planned. Please don't stress your couples by not RSVPing.
Right. They will love you. Trust me. They will really appreciate that.
Oh, my goodness, Laurie. Well, we are running out of time.
Oh, okay.
But I know time flies.
Yes.
But I want you to tell our listeners, where can they find you? You can give us your website, your social media, your phone number, however you want people to reach out to you. Tell us, where can we look for you?
Well, let's start with social media. We're on Facebook, Cru Event Rentals. We're on Instagram at Cru Rentals. We're on TikTok, Texas Event Rental Company. You can email me at llove@crurentals.com or call me 210-364-2663.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Laurie, for finally coming to do an episode.
I know, sorry.
And right before we leave, tell us your top two things that you can advise our couples when they're looking for rentals. What are two must things that they should know when they're looking for a rental company?
So I always tell them you will not know what you need until you have a venue. And because some venues provide the tables, the chairs, some even provide linens, some provide their own catering, dishes, all of that. So have your venue first. Then I think it's helpful to know an approximate number of guests because you won't know quantities, but when we're putting together a proposal, we want to know something to estimate it on. We need some kind of a number. Colors, that's a big deal.
Very
Come
important.
with fabric swatches. Your whole wedding is going to be designed around those colors. So those are probably the top. I may have given you 3 pointers.
I'm okay with that. I'm
you're
okay. The more info you give, the better.
When you're scheduling an appointment with me, I'm going to ask you those, don't come to me until you have a venue. Come to me with designs, maybe an idea list, maybe a Pinterest board even. And then we'll help you create it as best as we can.
There you have it. Thank you so much, Laurie. I am so happy that we got to do this, and I'm sure I'll see you this weekend at a wedding or something. We always see each other.
We do.
And to our listeners out there, thank you so much for tuning in today. Remember, we are here every Tuesday, so tell your engaged BFFs about the podcast. Tell them, or if you're the actual couple, make sure you let us know. If there is a vendor that you want me to have and I haven't had them yet, send me a DM. Visit our website, or just, reach out to me and be like, Marco, I hired so-and-so for my wedding. Can you please have them in the podcast? Just let me know. We can make it happen. Thank you, Laurie.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Thanks for listening to the Tipsy Guest podcast. If you know someone who could benefit from these tips, spread the love and share it with them. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. Next round's on us. Same time, same place. Cheers. This podcast is brought to you by MVP Photo Booth, the #1 photo booth rental company in San Antonio, Austin, and Central Texas.